Welcome to the Astraea server. I am Old Schleg Dog, but you can call me Dog. Today we're doing something a little different as I chronicle my epic journey into the heart of an ancient city. Twice, because I'm dumb. And I even work up the bravery to take on a warden in close combat. But first, the title montage. This innocuous sign is the mark of a victory. Sorry to spoil the ending for you, but in a game with an infinitely limitless number of extra lives, I do eventually succeed. This victory started long before I found this ancient city. Oddly enough, I was just returning from an archaeological dig with my pockets full of rare goodies when, well, maybe a reenactment is in order. It was in this moment of calm introspection and absolutely no cursing or rage quitting that I made a decision. I would craft a recovery compass. But dog, there are mods you can download that makes the recovery compass beyond pointless. Here, let me send you a link so you don't have to go through the arduous task of, let's see. Oh, playing the game. Nah, I needed an echo shard, which means I needed an ancient city. Okay, full disclosure, I did find an ancient city once before, many months ago, but it was when I was editing flashback footage, not when I was playing the game, so that felt a bit dishonest. So I went out in search of one the proper way, by boring a tunnel through the nether and popping back up in the overworld for a quick peek around. Any snow-capped mountain might be my very own moldy Eldorado. I clocked thousands of blocks on my elytra and my pickaxe before I finally struck black moldy gold. I wisely ran out of fire resist potions right here in this spot, built a portal here in the wall, prepared my elytra and rockets, and then I almost tripped over Skulk. Like a breadcrumb, it led me along this path, and finally to the precipice of destiny. I had arrived at an honestly found ancient city, a horror-fueled nightmare all to myself, guilt-free. And this is what happened next. I kept flashback running, and my guilty pleasure is playing with camera movement. So here is my ancient city misadventure in the form of a highlight reel. Take it away, voiceover me. This is what it looked like when I first arrived. An untamed deep slate jungle teeming with shrieking mold that wants me to die. I had thought the blue carpet would help me more so than crouching would, but I also thought it was a good idea to attempt this solo. Oh, the ignorance of youth. I'll figure out that truth soon enough. This shrieker has the honor of being the first one I nearly stubbed my toe on. And that would have been unfortunate because there was a minefield of sensors very, very nearby, with several more shriekers for good measure. The wool is of course safe to walk, run, and even do yoga on. It's just the other 99% of the ancient city that's truly dangerous. Happy to have my lucky blue carpet. As a reminder, the particles floating majestically off of me is night vision potion. I'm mostly seeing in-game what you are seeing now, but when it runs out, this is what little I will see. But I will keep night vision on for you during editing. You're welcome anytime. By this point, I had gotten lost. I thought I was still on the east side, but in reality I had wandered toward the middle walkway, and closer to the epicenter of the shrieking grumpy mold that wanted to kill me. I channeled my inner professional gamer and tuned out the bubbling lava just beneath my feet. My jumping around and celebrating like a buffoon was poor karma, and the Minecraft gods were paying close attention. In penance, despite how questionable the offense really was, I would trip my first sensor. Ooh, did you pucker like I did? 'Cause I did. But it could have been worse, because at least I didn't cause a shrieker to, well, shriek. I only get 3 of those free of charge before I'm punished with a warden. Luckily, I was on high alert and moving like a ninja. Alright, now I'm just being messy. After a few more minutes of stumbling mindlessly around, I ended up in the rear of the city, and there was my first chest of secret loot, hidden throughout this ancient, abandoned warehouse thing, I think. There was no echo shard, but that does bring me to a rather awkward explanation. It was near the end of November when I ventured into this ancient city the first time. And then the end of December when I finally finished up the mission. And the whole time I was terrified that someone else would stumble onto this area and raid it before I could get good video footage of me raiding it. And by the time I got around to finishing it and editing the flashback footage, it was literally Christmas time. And I forgot that Mojang changes the texture of the chests to look like gigantic presents. So, most of this video is going to contain little pockets of holiday joy sprinkled in throughout the horror minefield of an ancient city. Okay, explanation over. Let's go hunt some Christmas presents. finally, it had arrived. My strike 1. From an unseen shrieker, no less. All was well, but my mistake would not be forgotten by the cranky mold. You would assume that receiving my first strike of 4 would make me lock in and take this a little more cautiously. But as you can see, it has rather rattled my nerves, and I started making critical errors. It might seem like no harm, no foul now, but each mistake is a trap that I've set for myself to trip. In my limited defense, this critical error was from a shortage of wool blocks. I would make a rubbish bomb disposal guy. Unwrapping that present was risky. I would blame the darkness for hiding all those sensors from my view, but the night vision particles expose me as a liar. Sloppiness like that will guarantee a strike 2. I had done my due diligence here and thought I had secured the area of those pesky shriekers. But as I went about cleaning up the sensors, I became very aware of something I call tower defense. It's also known in this video as Strike 2. Only one more free one, and then I'd start paying the horrifying costs. Again, with the due diligence, I went about neutralizing the shriekers. Surrounding them with wool blocks should make them deaf to my running, jumping, and yoga. I wrote should in full caps in my notes. That little guy won't be a problem, right? Nah, of course not. We have arrived at Strike 3, our final free offense. I say we and our because I don't want to go any further alone. And if you're curious which pesky shrieker gave me that strike, why, it was tower defense. Somehow. In rapid succession, we have arrived at Strike 4. My critical error on the other side of that dilapidated wall delivered the fateful siren. Because, let's be real, I was not getting out of here with any kind of grace or skill or dignity attached to my name. Also, I was betrayed by my precious blue carpet. No! My therapist says I suffer from narcissism and paranoia, and sure, maybe I can work on those things. But this monster is definitely after me, and only me. Unsure how far away I needed to be to find safety, I continued to dig, and promptly found more skulk, which had overgrown beyond the city. I was surrounded by skulk, and I was trapped by the warden. And then I was not trapped by the warden. You might be saying, "Dog, you ran away scared. You are a coward. A coward!" And I would ask you to chill the F out a little. Because what you witnessed was not cowardice. I was not dribbling little bits of pee down the front of my armor while praying to hold in my bowels, and trembling weakly upon the keyboard. Oh god, I really was. It was bad. What you witnessed was a tragedy. It was strategy. It was a clever manipulation of game mechanics. The warden can sniff me out and even sonic blast me through solid walls, but it's too large to fit down small tunnels or caves. Thus, I have time to grab a snack, refill my night vision potion, and take a bathroom break. When the warden returns to the depths from which it came, the city is mine to traverse again. This cave is now a monument to my ingenuity, resourcefulness, and humility. Stand proud. With the warden tucked away safe somewhere beneath my feet, I carried on opening chests, making noise, and alerting the nearby sensors. No yoga positions though. I could not get those chat commands to work. There were many more options, but none of them were dangerous enough for an intrepid explorer like myself. All I needed was one echo shard after all, so I had to make the most of this adventure. I would save those easier chests for the silly noobs. Noobs. Silly noobs. Yeah, so anyway, it wasn't until after I imported all the flashback clips into this video that I realized I did not have footage of me actually retrieving an echo shard. Yeah, not even in my screen capture footage. The most major plot point of this video so far, yet instead of witnessing that moment, you're looking at me. I must admit this is an unforgivable mistake. So please, feel free to vent your frustrations in the comments below. And as always, keep your insults clever, tasteful, and devastating. Shenanigans. Straight up shenanigans. Water was already flowing loudly next to that sensor. Ain't no way it heard the slight disturbance of my pinky toe touching the edge of that puddle. Shenanigans. To make this an actual tragedy, I was only a few dozen blocks away from my exit. So close to safety. But now there was a warden in my path. And I was given no choice but to summon all of my bravery and dig a cave under natural terrain. And I added a piece of blue carpet for good measure. Not entirely sure why I did that. At this point, it's just superstition, really. I didn't have much loot on me, but I did have an echo shard in my pocket, and that was my goal anyway. I decided there had been more than enough adventure in this episode, and it was time to take my loot and run. Trouble was, despite the night vision potions, bravely running from danger left me without my bearings. I was completely lost, and it felt like a vast metropolis around me. In editing, I can tell you that I had explored less than 20% of the city, but in that moment, I would never retrace my steps back to safety. My best option was to tunnel my way to the surface like the silly little noob that I was. I bid a polite and not at all inappropriate farewell, and then I left. I returned home to Village Town, as I went about making a big production out of crafting my first ever recovery compass. A horrible yet predictably unavoidable truth came to light. I did not have enough echo shards. Turns out, I was running on an assumption. The recipe in my head was complete nonsense, and I hadn't bothered to check the wiki before the adventure. I actually needed 8 total echo shards, not my one sad one. If this mission was going to be a success, I would need to find 5 more echo shards, and then 2 more. I know from editing flashback footage that I have a bunch of chests that can still be looted. However, I also discovered that this area is actually smaller than the average ancient city. That means fewer chests and fewer chances to find all of my echo shards. I'll need more than luck on my side. I need Slow-Mo Ronald. Hi, I'm Slow-Mo Ronald, and these are your 7 best chances for crap, hold on. Hi again, I'm Slow-Mo Ronald, and these are your 7 best chances for surviving a return trip to an ancient city. 1. Sensors can hear 8 blocks away, and transmit to shriekers 8 blocks away as well. So stay quiet by sneaking around, or avoiding the city altogether. 2. Metagame the shit out of it. Switch your crouching hotkey to toggle so you don't wreck your little finger. Nah, I got 9 others, I'm not really worried about that. 3. Carpets are not helping you, dude. Take white wool blocks so they stand out against the darkness. 4. Shrieker warnings fall away after 10 minutes, so be sure to set a separate alarm on your phone for each one so you never ever lose track. What? What? No, I'm not doing 5. Isolate the shriekers, and the chain of summoning collapses. The sensors might be annoying, sure, but they cannot summon a warden by themselves. 6. After a shrieker shrieks, none others can shriek for 10 seconds. So grab your hoe and get whacking while the whacking's good. Okay. Alright, sure. 7. Wardens have 250 hearts of damage. You have 20. They can also shoot you through solid walls. Always always run. Yeah. Hmm. You see, um, yeah. I mean, you see, I mean, yeah. 8, a bonus one. Collect 9 broken discs, and you can craft a full music disc. What fun! With all of that, plus a properly notarized last will and testament filed with your attorney, you are ready to tackle the horrors of the underground. Good luck, and always remember, it's not enough to simply creep in and steal what I need. No, I'm not a cat burglar. I am a conqueror. Or well, I mean, someone I'm faintly related to in real life is known for being a conqueror. Thanks to spitting in a tube for science, my family tree was spread out before me, and I found out that I descended from the Norman royal family, which was founded by William the Conqueror. He conquered England, and then a branch of his family settled in the British colonies 110 years before the American Revolution. Their influence over the area in that time would have been incalculable. I got all that pumping through my veins, mixed with a healthy cocktail of German, Swedish, Dutch, and Irish ancestries too. Obviously, I'm super duper white. My conqueror genes are still a little diluted, but this is a video game, a digital city. I have been training for this moment since the first time I played Pitfall on Atari. Some might say I was born for this. Let's go conquer a city before that word loses all meaning entirely. Yeah! In a bid for good luck, I followed my old trail of blue carpets. Again. And my first target was the very first shrieker I ever snuck around. My conquest would begin with a stunning sense of deja vu. But before I was dogged off the gray wool, now I return as dogged off the white wool. Yeah, I thought of that during editing. Super proud. Except that's not where my conquest would begin. It would start here, in the middle of a virtual minefield, where I would take down my first shrieker. I hesitated only from bravery. Then the worst sort of RNG struck hard. The loose wool landed on a sensor. It was supposed to save me, but it was trying to get me killed. The countdown to summoning a warden had reset, but still that was enough to make me pucker. And look, there's an open shrieker hanging out freely in the background. The Minecraft gods have a dark and rather unfunny sense of humor. But let's not focus too much on the bad luck side of my situation. There's action music to enjoy. So without further ado, let's do an ancient city conquest montage. Turn up the music. my new strike one was a surprise one. My in-game character almost literally tripped over his own feet. A nearby sensor heard it, and a nearby shrieker stopped the music. Rude. And come on, that was barely an offense. Nevertheless, I had wandered astray from the east. Again. And I kept wandering, further astray, ever on the hunt. Then, I stumbled onto the shrieker who had summoned the second warden from before, who blocked me from the exit. And I wanted revenge. And I got it. Oh, okay. Huzzah. After the absolute terror I felt during my first visit, I expected that to be more of a challenge. Like before, my pinky toe barely grazed a puddle of water and I was facing certain death. This was almost too easy, and that made me realize something. Revenge is super easy. It's no wonder so many people dedicate their entire lives to it. This is a well-defined, goal-oriented lifestyle. And you know what? I want an easy revenge against that shrieker from a moment ago. That one who ridiculed me for tripping. Yeah, here I come. Mistakes were made. This is not fun or easy. This might not look like much of a challenge to you, but take note that there are no more particles floating majestically off my person. That's because my night vision potion had run out and I was playing mostly blind. Let's restart the clip so you can see the action from my light level. Spoiler alert for those without their brightness cranked to eye-watering levels, but my second revenge plot was a success. And pulling it off blind made me feel oh so sweet. I should have done this conquest thing a lot sooner. Naturally, I refreshed my night vision potion in a shockingly blind location. My regret is obvious. But no matter. Let's get back to the action. I am a moron. However, the angry shrieker was buried in wool. I don't know. Whatever. Party on. Stupid trolley bat, it almost gave me a heart attack. This place is terrifying. Smart and clever bat friend alerted me to the evil sensors up here. Aw, nature is so healing. That was a messy strike 3. I deserve that call. But that scream was also a partial victory, because it was the final 2 Shriekers on the right side of the city. This corner was conquered. Skulk sensors might lurk about still, sure, but not a single warden could now be summoned in my part of town. The Viking colonizer blood started to simmer a bit. Sorry about that. I'll rein it in. And if it helps, the Minecraft gods were not about to let me carry on like that without some hefty tax, in the form of stress and anxiety. Here we go. Did you spot my error? Oh, well, it's obvious. A sensor that was underground and under wool heard my footsteps, and it alerted a Shrieker that was also behind wool. I don't think Slow-Mo Ronald knows how wool works. Nor do I understand how numbers work, apparently. That should have been strike 4. I should have a warden sniffing me out right now. But it had been long enough since strike 1 that strike 1 was erased from the board. And that might sound like great news, but at this point in my adventure, I had no clue when strike 4 would actually happen. I never bothered to set any alarms on my phone. Literally any shriek from here on out might be the one that does me in. The anxiety was very, very, very real. I wouldn't have to wait long for the numbers to catch up with me. One wrong Shrieker kill set off a chain reaction, and a warden appeared nearby. Well, when I say nearby, that's relative. This is my favorite view and shows just how not nearby I really was during this whole altercation. Watch my frantic little pixels in the background running for their lives. Yeah, that's me. Oh no, keep watching, because in a moment I prove myself invincible. Here I go, right there. Yup, from my wool perch, I guard the city like a trembling Batman. Successfully living had started to make me arrogant, so I went out for a quick look at my ground-dwelling nightmare. I barely caught a glimpse of it before it returned to the ground, and this, unfortunately, would only make me dumber. I mean bolder. Not only did I have a city to conquer, but I still had echo shards to find, and a recovery compass to craft. So I attacked on all fronts: chests, shriekers, sensors, and wool. However, I'm still me, and I still do things without thinking. And even though I just claimed to be feeling bolder, I'm long gone before the camera pans back up to me. There I am, running away. Bravely. I bravely retreated to better ground for the purpose of weathering through another grumpy storm. What I did was heroic. Yes, it was. And then what I did was moronic. I didn't just go in search of a glimpse at my nightmare, but I dared to meet it on level ground. Sure, my shield and pickaxe would be my secret weapons in this ill-advised encounter. Saving me from myself, Warden number 2 returned to the ground before I could commit another critical error. Yeah, you know what's coming, right? I'm gonna poke the beast, and I am not gonna be happy about it. This lonely, solitary shrieker may not look like much, but it marks a partial victory. The right side of the city has been conquered. Again. Sure, I was a bit ambitious when I called it earlier, I admit, but that's just the fog of war talking. And it's also getting lost in a tiny maze of mold talking. Yeah, no, not embarrassing at all. Nevertheless, this calls for a rallying bitchin' action montage. The gray wool marked the place. I had arrived once again at Tower Defense. At long last, I had returned to the area that managed to fight me off once before, but I was armed with better armor, bitchin' tunes in my head, and a depleting sense of self-preservation. I was not messy, I was casually experienced, and I would not be so easily dissuaded from my mission this time. Epic Revenge Part 3, let's go! Nah, I take that back. Run. Revisit the Cave of Wellness and Recovery, dog. Drink a night vision potion, you know, just to wet the lips. Warden number 3 climbed out of wool? I don't understand wool. Warden number 4 took 2 attempts to be summoned. And this marks 6 wardens overall since I started the video. Yet not once have I been chased down and brutally murdered. What gives? I mean, this footage proves it. The warden is just hanging out, chillin', probably wishing he'd brought a lighter up with him. Is this dude really a threat? Seriously? His biggest crime is loitering. Maybe I am the villain here. Almost symbolic of my insurmountable troubles with clearing this one small area of the city, Warden number 5 had taken up roost upon tower defense. He has the high ground, Anakin. From his perch, he can sonic blast in any direction. You know, if wardens were dangerous. He might just be loitering, but he is scary AF. By this point in the adventure, I'd been at this for a couple hours, and each night vision potion only lasts for 8 minutes. It was time to refuel. Luckily, being Astraea's official potions master, I carry a brewing kit with me at all times. Let's get back to the conquest. But first, a word from our sponsor. Cold. And now, back to the action. And since the right side was definitely, really, for surely conquered and safe, it was time to return yet again to the left side. Carefully, very carefully. As carefully as an air raid siren, I swear to God. Nope. Yet again, I wandered astray and went right back into the center. Again. And just like both times before, it contained an unwelcome surprise. This time, it was a hidden shrieker. My wild flailing did expose it to view, but I reapproached the area from the wrong direction, and I could not see the shrieker. I set it off again, which brought me right back up to 4 strikes in no time at all. This time, Warden number 6 was in a position to ambush me as I tried to escape. but it underestimated how slippery I was with pee dribbling down out of my armor. My narrow escape should have smacked some sense into me. On the contrary, it only fueled my misplaced confidence. It was time, I decided, to take down this overhyped villain with a few arrows of harming. What could possibly go wrong? I found the warden off in the distance, lined up my shots, and then... the warden slipped through an opening I did not think possible, and by the time I retreated, I was well within its blast range, and I took a sonic hit straight to the back of the head. From the warden's POV, it looks a bit silly, especially when it runs without the aid of complete darkness. But it's an overpowered beast, and I barely survived that one strike. He might appear broken and confused right now, but in reality, he's sniffing me out through very thick walls. It knows where I am, and it is pissed about its new puncture wounds. Assuming that I was cornered, my logical course of action was to mine closer to it, but hopefully stay up high enough to kill it without suffering return fire. Thankfully, the warden lost interest and dug back into the ground before I could get too close. It would have been the death of me. In Minecraft. Literally. Nevertheless, that one sonic blast to my noggin was enough to slap some sense back into me. Wardens were not my friends. They're not even friend-shaped, so where was my confusion? Ha ha ha, yeah! Revenge number 3. It tastes so sweet. Here is to a successful charge straight into victory. Cheers! And this cinematic shot marks another partial victory. With that pesky shrieker taken down, the center of the city is mine. Huzzah! I mean, yeah, I was supposed to be on the left side again, and I'm not. But still, half the city is now secure. All that's left now is the left side. Well, and the rear, which has been a constant pain in mine. Okay, this is weird, right? Like, this area is supposed to be hidden. I mean, I knew this area existed from watching so many YouTube videos, but everyone always treated it with bemusement and awe. Granted, I am redstone stupid. I have no clue what any of this means. But surely there was supposed to be a secret door sealing this off? that I was supposed to work out by combining random hints from around the world? Or maybe the last guy out just forgot to lock up. Was this the work of pillagers? The answers have been lost to time. For those who have been screaming at their screen because I've been using a hoe to break wool this entire time, this moment of clarity is for you. Hello, Shears. Warden number 7 woke up grumpy, stayed grumpy, and then backhanded a trolley bat into oblivion. Thanks for taking the sacrifice, my blind little buddy. This is the best view I could find, and it brings a smile to my face every time I watch it. Hey, we all grieve in our own ways, don't judge me. While the bat took the brunt of the abuse, I fled to safety in my previously dug cave under natural terrain. That rather anticlimactic swing of my hoe marked yet another partial victory. That's all that remained on the east side. Oh, okay, I had chipped away at it way better than I thought I had. Good for me. But I still needed 2 more echo shards, and the rear of the city remained rebellious to my crushing, iron-handed rule of peace and prosperity and love and joy and acceptance. The Minecraft gods bestowed their blessings upon me in my final 2 chests, and my what an embarrassment of riches. 1 echo shard more than I needed, adding them to the ones at base camp, of course. Plus a Swift Sneak 3 book and a Swift Sneak 1 book. It was enough to tempt me back to base camp to unload, but I didn't have much left to conquer. The rear of the city was still wild, untamed, and dangerous. Wardens could still emerge and chase me in any which direction. If they, chased me. I came back here to conquer, so I damn well better do it. Yeah. rear of the city has been secured. It wasn't the largest area, but it did give me the biggest troubles. Nevertheless, the city has been taken. I have lived up to the impossible standards of my ancestors and have risen high to meet them, digitally. This conquered city shall henceforth be known as the Dog Pound. And now, after so much rambling ado, I present to you the crafting of my first ever recovery compass. I'll place it right here in my recovery shulker, where I also store my netherite armor. All tucked away safely in my ender chest. And that, my dear friends, is the conclusion to my Ancient City Misadventure. Normally, I end these videos with a handful of outtakes, but after so much action and tension and cold-blooded mold murder, I think I'll skip right to our moment of zen. Just a dude fishing and enjoying the peace, the calm, and the sunlight. Digitally, of course. Take care of yourselves out there, and I'll talk at you next time.